There are ancient masculine practices that have been lost with the sands of time. But these practices are so powerful that they can completely change your behavior and mind patterns. Our society today, however, looks down on these practices and labels them toxic. Well, my brothers, so be it. It's time to be toxic by this modern world standard. With each new generation, our men become weaker and weaker. As a result, the cycle continues and more men end up growing up to be weak degenerates who can't achieve anything besides a few addictions and a broken family environment. Remember, if it's good for your soul, then it's not toxic, but beneficial. And today, you will learn exactly that. The 5 so-called toxic ancient masculine practices that every man needs to return to. Practice number 1, semen retention. The man who conquers himself is greater than the one who conquers 1,000 men in battle. For many men, controlling their sexual urges is one of the greatest battles. There are so many men who have come out talking about how sex and porn completely destroyed their life. Think about Kanye West, Terry Crews, and Mike Tyson. All these men admit how these sexual thoughts can crawl into your life and take full control of you. In fact, Terry Crews was so addicted that he would begin watching porn when it was still night, and by the time he finished, the sun would be out. Think about what that does to a man. It cripples you. Porn and uncontrolled sexual thoughts are like a hammer that break off your legs of self-control. Without these legs, forget about keeping yourself well-groomed, or starting a successful business, or finding a loving partner. Everything worth having in this life can be taken away from you just like that if you allow it. That is why learning to preserve your seed is very important. Value it. Respect it. Your seed is exactly that, a life force. Retain that life force, young brother. Have you ever wondered why everything has been sexualized? From the foods around you, to the clothes, to the TV shows, to the music and movies? Everything has been sexualized. Why? Simple. Because there's an all-out attack on your life force. Don't let these Jezebels get to you. But here's the secret. The practice of semen retention wasn't really a big deal for men in the past. That's right. When they spent their days working and providing for their people, the one thing in their mind wasn't their nofap streak, but how much more work they could do. The one thing that allowed them to do semen retention properly wasn't some special ancient technique, but merely not thinking about sex, unless it was appropriate for the situation. So, forge your streak, brother, and make it a lifestyle. That will only happen once your lifestyle is clean. Get rid of all triggers. Practice number 2, fighting. There once used to be a saying that you can take the man out of the fight, but you can't take the fight out of the man. But sadly, very few men remain who still have fight in them. The average man will simply accept whatever is thrown at him without any aggression or assertiveness. Remember, brothers, there's nothing wrong with showing aggression. As a man, you have been blessed with a natural aggression that you can utilize. It's not toxic, but when and where you use this aggression, it separates the boys from the men. The men of today are amongst the most submissive beings in the world. Their governments may be exploiting them, abusing them, or even making sure that their freedom is stolen away and they would still be chill and okay with it. It is indeed important to be stoic and accept what life offers you. But you must always keep in mind that if you don't fight for anything, you'll end up with nothing in the end. If your goal in life is being a submissive little slave that never bats an eye in the face of injustice, then you have nothing to learn from this video. But if you want more from life, if you want to make the world a better place, then it's time for you to learn how to fight for that. In the past, men fought wars to ensure the safety of their people. They fought for freedom, and they fought to kill injustice from the world. If you're not okay with the way the world treats you, you must take it by the neck and teach it a lesson about respect. The best way to learn the art of fighting for the good of humanity doesn't just come from actually fighting in martial arts, but also from being an active member of your community. And of course, learn physical fighting too. God forbid the day ever comes, brother, but the lives of your families and friends may very well depend on your fighting skills someday. Practice number 3, hunting. No, I'm not telling you to grab a spear and go look for the nearest gazelle. But what I am referring to, however, is the hunt that brought humanity to prosperity. The hunt that drove men to invent new tools. The hunt that brought men to lead their nations to glory. The hunt that pushed you to watch this video. Hunting is nothing more than the energy inside you that drives us to complete any and all missions that appear before us. A man who doesn't hunt is a man without a purpose, and I truly mean it. Hunt. Things won't fall into your lap automatically. Think about any predator. Do you think the prey comes to him easily? No. The predator must sometimes run miles before he catches his prey. Sometimes it just must wait for hours before it leaps onto its prey. Just think about living like a non-hunter for a second. You live a life of complacency and struggle where nothing changes. You remain stuck doing whatever feels comfortable right now and never get to achieve anything. You live and die without using your time to its full potential, effectively castrating yourself. On the other hand, a man who's got the heart of a hunter, regardless of how low or high in life he is, he's always going to look for the next mission to complete. Literally everything he does is a step towards his goal. And of course, if your lifestyle allows it, then by all means, try physical hunting too. You will learn the art of patience and weapon handling, which are very masculine activities. Practice number 4, create. Creation was one of the greatest ancient skills. Look at the ancient building structures that our modern architects still quite can't understand. Look at their roads that still haven't broken off. Take a look at ancient art, which you could proudly say was art. Most things now are done purely out of political sentiments. And even worse, creation is now seen as unnecessary, something to be left to the successful inventors and those who are crazy enough to take risks. But the truth is that creating things to leave your mark on the world is not only a necessity for you, but for the rest of humanity as well. If you never take the time to put your ideas into the real world, you'll be a shell of the man you're actually supposed to be. Use your brain, my brother, to make something new. Bring your thoughts into reality. As offensive as this may sound to some of you, use your brain if you don't want it to rot. Most men these days have taken their ability to create and have thrown it out of the window for the sake of pleasure, a small amount of money, and a mediocre life. Back in the day, men wouldn't just work on their jobs, but they would work on their own very products, devices, and tools. And finally, practice number 5. Actively seek the beauty of life. This last point is crucial for many reasons, and it is a shame that the modern world has made us forget it in exchange for selfish and individualistic values. All we think about in our busy lives is money, money, and more money. In fact, let me make a very controversial statement here. One of the greatest reasons for the ever-increasing depression in our society now is none other than being more self-centered. No wonder you are depressed when you have made everything about yourself. Oh, why did he do that to me? Why did they say that to me? So rude. The moment you become the center of your own world, that's when it comes crashing down. There are children who only get to eat once per day, who have to walk long distances to go to school or to be able to drink water. Yet, many of them have a healthier smile on their face compared to your self-centered self who has everything one could ask for. It's time, brother, to look past yourself. Look to the needs of others. Look at the beauty and adventure life has to offer. And above all, look to God for strength and guidance. To see the best next way to level up as a man, check this video here.